Hi, welcome to Unit 8. We'll be dealing with polygons and quadrilaterals. So our first lesson is interior and exterior angles of polygon. And the objective is, how do we find the sum of interior and exterior angles of polygon? So just a quick review of polygons. We know that polygons are closed shapes, one shape, straight edges, and at least three sides. And a regular polygon is a polygon that is convex, has congruent sides, and congruent angles. So this stuff you learned last year. Seems like a long time ago, but we went through this before when we were dealing with different types of polygons. In the chart below, there are different types of polygons. The shape, showing a diagram of what they look like and how many sides, and the sum of their interior angles. We all know about a triangle. We know that it's three-sided shape, and the interior angles add up to 180. Quadrilaterals, such as rectangles, trapezoids, squares, rhombi, you all know that they're four-sided, and they all equal 360. Now we go to pentagon. Pentagon, you know, five-sided shape. The interior sum is 450. Hexagon is 6, 720 for the interior sums. Then it goes down to heptagon, octagon. Octagon you should know. If you've seen stop signs, you know that's an octagon. And nonagon, basically it's a nine-sided shape. You don't hear that word that often, but that's what it is for a nine-sided shape. Decagon is 10. Undecagon is 11. That's another one that we don't usually use. It's not really common to the vernacular. And dodecagon is 12-sided. And anything greater than 13 or greater is an n-gon. And you see all the sums for the interior angles for each shape. You may know the triangle, the quadrilateral, because we use it often. But the other ones, if you're good with memorizing them, great, then you know them. If not, there's a formula that you can use in order to figure out what the interior sum is. But if anything, you should know the names of the different types of shapes and how many sides they have. So going to the formula, in order to find the interior angle sum, the sum of the interior angles, there's a theorem that deals with convex polygons. So it is S equals, in parentheses, n minus 2 times 180. So n represents the number of sides, and S represents the sum of the interior angles. So let's say we have this shape, which we know is a pentagon. And let's say we didn't know what the interior sum of it is. So we know that there are, for the pentagon, oops, let me write that again. Okay, so let me erase that because the pen was freaking out. Okay, let's do this. Calligraphy, that. Alright, so we know that this is a pentagon. And then we know a pentagon has 5 sides. So n equals 5. That represents the sides. So then we would just plug it in to find the interior, the sum of the interior angles. So n would be 5 minus 2 times 180. And then you minus, it gives you 3 times 180. And then that will equal 550. 540. So if you were to go back to this chart for the pentagon, what does it say? 540. So if you didn't know that right off the bat, you would use this formula to find out what is the interior sum for the pentagon. And that goes for any shape. So it's S equal, in parentheses, n minus 2 times 180. Right, so let's look at our first example. So it says, for a convex regular pentagon below, find the following. So we need to find the sum of the interior angles, find one interior angle, find the measurement of one exterior angles, and then find the sum of the exterior angles. So let's see what they gave us. So they gave us a pentagon. They said a convex regular pentagon. So we know that it's a regular pentagon, so that means all the sides will be congruent. So that I will mark up, so that way we know. So this side, this side, and this side, all 5 sides are congruent. Do we know how many sides there are? Yeah, a pentagon has 5. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sides. So now to find the sum of the interior angles, again, if you already knew what it was, because we just did it in the last slide, you would know right away it's 540. But again, if you did not know, you would use the formula, s equals n minus 2 times 180, and then plug in your 5 for n, and then do the work, and then you get 540. All right, so we found the sum of the angles. Now we need to find one interior angle. We know the whole thing is 5 inside is 540. We know there's 5 sides or 5 angles. We're going to divide the 5 into 4, 540. That will give us 108. So each angle inside this pentagon is 108 degrees. Now in order to find one exterior angle, so notice, let's say we wanted to find angle 5. We know that, I'm going to put that in green, oops, wrong one. Okay, so we know that inside this is 108. So in order to find angle 5, whether it's angle 1, 2, 3, 4, and since we're looking for 5, so it would be 5. Notice what's happening here. And I'm going to highlight that because we worked on this before. So notice that we have a line, and then we got 2 angles. What kind of angle pair is this? We said linear? Yeah, linear. And how do we find a missing angle in a linear pair? We know that a line is equal to 180. If we have one of the angles, then we subtract it from 180. So 180 minus 108, that means the exterior is going to be 72. So this one is 72 degrees. So that's for one exterior angle. Now to find the sum of all the exterior angles, let's mean 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many are there? There's 5 of them. So then you know that one of the exterior angle is 72. So we're going to multiply by 5, and then we get 360. So the sum of the angles, the exterior angles of the pentagon is 360. And that brings us to our next section, which deals with exterior angle sum theorem for convex polygons. So it says that if a polygon is convex, then the sum of the exterior angles is always 360. So we know, based on the example that we did, that it came out to 360. If we were to do it for another shape, then it would work out the same way. So for regular convex, when it comes to dealing with the formula, it would be one interior angle times how many sides there are to give you the 360. Or you can do 360, if you have to find one exterior angle, you do 360 divided by n to give you that. It's just basically using the same formula, just set it up to find whatever you're looking for. So we're going to go and look at another example. So for this one, it says if an interior angle of a polygon is 135 degrees, then find n, which is the number of sides of this polygon. So the interior angle of the polygon is 135. So I'll just put what they gave me. And let's say this is the interior of whatever shape this is. It's 135. So I need the exterior angle. What I'm going to do, step 1, find the exterior angle. So that's 180 minus 135 gives me 45. So then that means that exterior angle of whatever shape I'm dealing with is 45. The next step is use that exterior angle, and we're going to find the n of how many sides this shape has. So we know the exterior angle is 45. We're going to multiply to n and equal it to 360. So we're going to find n, and then we found out that n is 8 sides. What is 8 sides? An octagon. So the shape that we're looking for, the polygon, is an octagon. Okay, going on to the next thing. This is another example dealing with exterior angles, interior angles, all that stuff. So they say find the measure of each interior angle. So we're looking for the interior angles. If you look at the shape, ask yourself what kind of shape this is. This is a quadrilateral. If you know how many degrees a quadrilateral will have, the interior angles, then you know it would be 360. But let's say you didn't know. So now we would use this formula, s equals n minus 2 times 180, plug in 4 because there's 4 sides, and then we get 360 for the sum for the interior angles. But again, if you know that it was 360, then you don't need to do this part. But anyway, we found the angle sum of the shape. Part 2, we need to plug in, we need to find x. So we're going to put all these together. There's two 5x's, so there's 2 times 5x plus 2 times 11x plus 4 equal to 360, because we know that inside has to be 360. We do all the work, and then we find it to be 11. But we're not done yet, because we need to take that 11 and then plug it in to whatever there's an x, because they want us to find the measure. So you take that 11, plug it into 5x, get 55, and then we plug it into 11x plus 4, and then we get 125. So that means angle R and T are 55, and then angle S and U are 125. And that's it. So let's see if there's anything else. Oh, so we reached the end. So going back to recap, we learned about interior, finding the sum of the interior angles and the sum of the exterior angles. Oops, going way too back. So we learned about what a polygon is. Polygon is basically a closed shape, one shape, closed figure, one shape, straight edge, at least 3 sides. We learned about the different types of polygons. And with regular polygons, we know that they have to have congruent sides, congruent angles, and it's convex. If you forgot what convex means, it means all the angles are pointing out. There's none that are going in. So if you look at all the shapes that you see in the chart, the angles pointing out. And if you are not good with memorizing the sum of the interior angles, you should know at least the triangle and quadrilateral. Then you would use the formula for interior angle sum, which is s equals n minus 2 times 180. And that works for any shape that you need in order to find the interior sum, interior angle sum. And with exterior angles is the angles outside the shape, and it doesn't matter what shape it is, it always has to equal 360. And these are the two formulas. So if you find at least one of the interior angles by using 180 minus the interior angle measurement to give you the exterior angle, plug that in, and then divide it by divided by 360 to find n, and that'll tell you how many sides the shape has, so you know what shape it is. Or if you're looking for the exterior angle, then you would do 360 divided by how many sides the shape has to find the exterior angle. We just looked at examples with that. And again, just applications with knowing about interior angles or exterior angles. So for the interior angles, if you don't know what's the sum of the interior angles of the shape, use s equal n minus 2 times 180. If you know it because you memorize it, then you just skip one part and then go on to the next to find what you need to find. Alright, if you have any questions, you know that you can ask me, and I can give you more examples to help you understand and do problems like this. Alright, so we've reached the end, and have a good day.